Welcome back to Machine Explained, and in this session I'd like to show Logic users how to get audio into Logic as their DAW of choice from Maschine. I've got an insert of Maschine here on an instrument channel, and what you want to first check is you want to come to this drop down here and make sure that pattern drag mode is set as audio and that all your instruments are turned on in all the channels here. And I'm going to make this slightly bigger, so go to view mode, I'm going to go to medium. You can see a bit more now. You can make that as big or as small as you want, and then to make sure they're all switched on, and they are, then I hold down this button here, just move that to that side a bit, just move Maschine to the right, and then hold it down, left hand side of my mouse, keep it depressed, and it'll say done, ready to drag, and you simply pick it up and drop it in the timeline. And let's just close that out of the way. Just bring that back to there. As you can see now, we've got the Abbey Road drum kit in. You can mute that channel. That's cool for one loop, but what if you want to make it into separate audio? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to delete that out again, that channel, lose it, and come back to Maschine. And what I'd like to do is have everything but the kick and the snare. So I'm going to turn the kick and the snare off, and it's there a couple of times. Let's just play that. So I've got those. Just hold down this again. Those four arrows, keep them depressed, bring it across and drop it in. So there it is, there's the first bit of audio. I can mute that now. Okay, we know the kick this time, so I'm going to press down the control key and grab the kicks. In fact, there's one and there's one. So we want two kicks, so you can either solo it or do it like that. Let me turn those back on for a second. Those, we hold this down again, bring it across, drop it in, and there's our kick now. Let's do the snares now. Turn off the kicks, turn on the snares. Hold down those four arrows again, drag your mouse across, drop it in, and there we are. Can mute that out now. So that's how you can do it that way. Now there's a second way. Let's suggest you want to get all of these out of Maschine and into separate tracks. Now that's slightly different, and what we're going to do first is we're going to delete some audio, and those tracks, let's lose them. I'm just deleting them out as we go. Let's make them slightly smaller this time. I'm just going to make the timeline slightly smaller. And we come back to Maschine, so double click here on our instrument. Bring it here, and what we do is we come up to this menu here and we go to File and we go to Export Audio, and what you do is you choose what you want to export. So first the region, we're going to take all scenes in this occasion, so that would be the whole song if I wanted to choose the whole song, or just one pattern within the song or within the arrangement as it's called within Maschine. The next thing is the output. We can choose either the master, which is the whole output of Maschine, the group, so we choose just the kit, but that wouldn't do individual outputs. What we want is all of the instruments. So we choose sounds here, and we make sure before we do that, let me just close that again and turn them all back on. They've got to be turned on here. If they're not, you are not going to hear all the options of audio that you can have. I think that's every channel switched on. There's two more. Great, ready to go. File, export audio. As you can see now, they're all selected, and you can again turn them on and off there if I want to. Then we choose where we want to put them. I'm going to go to Desktop, create a new folder, Logic, Export, Kit. Choose that as my folder of destination. Now normalize is, do you want them actually to put to the maximum volume before clipping? I would say no. leave it as it is. Loop Optimize is a very cool trick. What Loop Optimize does is it allows you to, let's suggest you've got a snare that's got a reverb very late in a loop, and it hits the reverb. Now if you chopped it, the reverb would have a tail that's chopped off. Now this is logical, and it figures out that if that happens, then it needs to have the tail coming back at the beginning of the loop as well. So if you're creating loops like that, it's really cool to have Loop Optimize switched on. It's a very clever trick, and there's lots of effects that get rendered back into the loop when you do it. Very helpful. Then there's bit depth. You can go down to 8-bit if you want a really grungy drum sound. We're going to go for 24-bit because we just want to keep it as it is. And we just click export. Just takes a second to do its magic. You'll see some lights flashing on your machine controller, and it's done. Close it. Close machine. I'm going to mute that for a second. I'm going to just drag here. There's my folder full of audio. Grab it all and simply just drag it into my Logic timeline like that. Create new tracks. It's bringing them in. Takes a minute or two just to do it, depending on how much audio you've got. Nearly there, and the power of your machine. And there we are. It's as simple as that. Thanks for watching.